Okay, so guys, if you're watching the replay, I'm just gonna hold up for all our followers to come online so we have more audience, and then the show gets started. It's 5:59 right now, so yeah, I have Victor Ober joining. Hi. So yeah. Victor, can you request in to join this live? Okay, or I could just do this. Yep, I just invited you. Hi,
Hi.
Victor. Oh my God, you're
Hey.
so cute. Your picture
Oh,
don't do you justice at all.
thank you.
Okay, so I'm just gonna wait for more audience to join in on the live. And
Okay.
hi, oh, B Davy is here. So glad to have you guys join us. So we have our audience are increasing by numbers.
Okay.
So we just want more to join us, and then we'll go ahead with the show. But
That's
before
fine.
then, everyone here, thank you for your time and thank you for joining us. I'm Guinevere, and I'm the host
Can I call you
for
Gwen?
APVA Africa, Nigeria.
Can
I'm
I
in
call
Lagos.
you Gwen?
Yeah, you can call me Gwen. You can call me
All
Gwen.
right. Thanks.
All of you can call me Gwen. So, guys, you're welcome to Pod Breaks Africa, and on this show, we talk about all the sweet and sour bits of our passion. And today, we'll be hosting a beautiful person. His name is Victor Oba, and he's already here with us. Isn't he cute? You look cute. I'll keep saying it. So, this show is hosted by APVA, and if you don't know what that is, I will tell you what APVA is. And yeah, our numbers are increasing a little bit. So, let's just go ahead with it. So, APVA stands for a lot of things. Like they have a lot of hats on. And first of all, it's the Association of African Podcasters and Voice Artists. And so you should have an idea of who Victor Ober is, and he's a guy with many hats as well. And we are all about growing a community of talented and much more affectionate and passionate Black people who
Yeah.
are passionate about their crafts, podcasting, voice acting, anything that has to do with the art. And we're glad to have you guys on board with us. So if you want to join us, the association, just send a DM to us and we'll reach out to you ASAP. So, welcome again, Victor Oba, and let's just get the
Thank you
show
very
rolling.
much, Gwen, for having me.
Ah, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's my pleasure, by the way. So, a little bit about you. Let me help you. So, today, Victor Ober is a lot of things. Like I earlier said, it's a lot of persons, or what, rather, is a person with a lot of hearts. He's an actor, realtor, writer, and public speaker, and most importantly, a podcaster. And he is a co-founder of the Sixth Idea, a consulting firm for small businesses. So if you're a small business, you can reach out to Victor Ober and he will put you through all the process you need to know on how to start your business. So his company is based on startup. So if you're not a startup, so if you all got all that figured out, there's no need for him. But if you're just trying to get everything figured out, you can reach out to Victor Ober and he will get your brand rolling. So like I said, he's an actor and he's a realtor. He will talk about that more, and he's a podcaster. Isn't that right, Victor?
Yes, definitely. You're correct.
Okay, so thank you for coming on the show today. And my first question to you is why all that? Why realtor, writer, public speaker, podcaster? in your future, maybe the president of Nigeria?
I've said that always. Always, I've said that.
Oh, I'm in the spirit with you then.
I
So
tell you,
tell
I
us your journey that you
okay.
got all these hats on.
All right. Thank you very much again for having me. I feel really honored.
My pleasure.
Um, so this is I started with acting, right?
Oh,
And so it's been a phase. Acting was that first opportunity for me to express myself as a young person.
okay. Oh, I think we have a poor network with Victor Oba, and he's going to join us. Can you take that back again? Can you hear me? Oh, the network is really disturbing our show right now. But in any case, before he joins us, he was trying to tell us about how he started as an actor, and that's the first thing he did to express himself and his art. So I'm guessing when he comes back on, we will get the show rolling with him. But before that, let me take you guys back to APVA, and also how I got to meet a beautiful person called Bidemi, who is a beautiful soul, and she is the owner and the visionary of this association, which I am so happy and excited to be part of. So like I said earlier, if you want to be part of the association, you can just send us a DM and we will reach out to you. So there's always a place for any review on the platform. So welcome back, Victor. I guess your
Yeah,
network
sorry,
was just
Gwen.
treating us badly.
I got a call, so I had to
Can you hear me,
Yeah, I
Victor?
can hear you now.
Can you
Yeah,
hear me
sorry,
now?
Gwen. I can hear you.
You had to. Yes, I said welcome back.
All right,
Welcome
thank you
back.
very
So,
much. I got a call, that's why.
okay, can you put your phone on a flight mode?
If I actually do that.
Yes, so you can avoid calls coming in.
All right. All right, let's go. I'm set.
All
Can you
right,
hear
so
me?
you stopped at us. Yes, I can. We all can. You stopped at you
Oh,
being
all right.
starting out as an actor, and that's the first place you got
As an
in
actor.
expressing yourself. Yes. So you can go on from
Yeah,
there.
yeah. So, all right. So, acting for me was that opportunity for me to express myself as a young person, and it was an amazing experience because it taught me the power of storytelling, and as an actor also I delved into writing.
Oh,
All right.
wonderful.
Yeah. So it was from acting to writing to I found out podcasting last year. No, I think no, 15th of March this year.
Oh,
And
so you're fresh in the bunch.
really fresh.
Ah!
Really fresh. But I mean it's up to 7 months now, so I think that yeah, it's been an amazing journey, right?
You're going to tell us
So
about that journey.
that definitely I would. So yeah, I think that it wasn't really that I was trying different things. I was just
Okay.
doing things that I felt that I was very comfortable in,
Okay.
and not just comfort. I was exploring all of these abilities. I think the only thing I didn't do was sing. I
But
didn't
can you
sing, but
sing
then I think I can.
if you put your mind to it?
Exactly, right? So it was acting, writing, and then I did a lot of reading. So that sort
Okay.
of formed my perspective. It formed how I thought. It formed my knowledge. It formed wisdom. It formed understanding. So I realized that I was more of like a teacher. So
Oh,
public speaking was the platform that helped me with expressing, communicating these ideas in my mind. Right?
wow.
Exactly. So it wasn't just acting was a way of me expressing stories. Writing was a way of me expressing myself in pen and paper. Then public speaking was me transferring knowledge. right?
Amazing.
So at the end of the day, you'd come to realize that all of these things are like, they're really intertwined.
Yes, they are
Do you
interconnected
get?
together.
They're interconnected. And then being a realtor, I needed money. You need
I knew
money.
that was going to come in
You need
somewhere.
money. You know?
Amen to money. Amen
Amen
to
to
that.
money. Amen. Amen to money. So we needed to make money, not just seeing it, not just the passion. Um, would I go into teaching? I'll consider it. I mean, I'm already teaching, right? So I make videos on Instagram. I make write-ups on Instagram. So I think it's a way of also just transferring knowledge. It might not really come out as professional teaching, but it's a way of transferring knowledge.
Okay,
I think
that's
that's really
great.
the idea of teaching.
Let me
Yeah.
pause you right there and quickly take you back to what you said about reading. So, what
Yeah.
kind of books do you read, and what book would just tell us that, okay, this is a book you read that informed your perspective and changed your worldview?
All right. So I began reading the Bible at a very early age. So I was born and brought up in a Christian home, right?
Okay.
So the Bible formed my belief as a young child. But as I grew up, I found out the library of I visited a house on the island in Lagos here, and I saw that the man had over 500 books, if not more.
Freaky.
And every evening he would just like sit in the balcony, pick a book, and begin to delve into the wealth of that book. So I told him, I said, "Which book would you give me?" So he gave me Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Oh wow, I have read that book.
Do you get? So that was the first book I read, and I read it in a sitting, literally. I literally like read it in the sitting because I was so consumed.
Are you serious?
I tell you, like I was so consumed with the knowledge, that vast knowledge that was in that book. So that was what started the journey, right?
You're joining into
Into
expression?
reading. No, into
Okay,
reading.
into reading. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. And what actually started my expression into expressing was because so I will read a line
Okay.
from a book, and I could get my own interpretation, like I could get a totally different perspective from just that one line. Right? And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Somebody needs to hear this. Right? That was how I began to form my own thoughts. I began to write down these perspectives in my mind. I think that was when I even wrote my first book that never got published.
But one day it
Right?
will get published. Amen to that
Definitely,
one.
definitely, right? So I was in that phase of learning. I was in that phase of relearning. I was in that phase of also unlearning, right? As a young boy, we had grew up with some perspective that we didn't really need them to grow into the next phase of life as a teenager, as a young 20-something child, right? So I began to form this perspective through experience also, right?
Okay.
So it began to inform me of my world and the consciousness of my purpose and all of that.
That's beautiful. So, life-changing experience for you was when you started reading books, and
Yes,
that brings me
yes.
to your public speaking, your passion for sharing knowledge to others. Is that what informed your journey to podcasting?
So what really informed this is funny. I was tired of showing my face on Instagram
Okay.
through my videos, right?
Okay.
I was literally tired. So I was looking for a way to communicate with my audience without necessarily showing them my face.
Oh.
So what I did was I created like a slide of different pictures, and I was talking over these slides,
Oh.
right? So my podcasting is like is even different. It's not the way every other person does their podcast, right? So
Okay.
at the time when I started podcasting, two things was really important for me. I did not want to give people links to go listen to my podcast on another application like Anchor, Spotify, and the rest, right? I wanted to give people something that was snacky, which means it was going to be really short, and I wanted to give people something that was shareable, which means they could easily share it with their friends on WhatsApp, on Instagram, and the likes. Right?
That's really creative.
So at the time when I started, people began to say, "Oh, Oba, your voice is nice." Right? So I'm like, okay, so let's intentionally build on this. So the journey has started from March 15th till this moment. Anyways, now the next phase of my podcast is to go on Anchor, like just to serve the international market intentionally. Right?
Okay.
So that's the phase. I'm writing the season 1 and I'm almost done. So once I'm done writing, we're going live on Spotify and Anchor and the rest.
Let's dive in more into the podcasting bits of how you started. So your passion for sharing knowledge in public speaking brought you into trying to be more creative with the way you share your knowledge without being all out there for your audience. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so podcasting for you was an extension of your public speaking.
Of my voice, exactly.
And then you don't really podcast the way every other people do
Person
it.
podcast,
You just create picture videos and voice over it and share what you're trying to explain. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So, but right now you're intending to go full on out on the audio aspect of the podcasting to feed your audience and maybe even increase your horizon to more audience and more people that would follow you and what subject that you really want to talk about. So now, where my question is coming from is your weight. When you did the short videos with voiceover, and now you're going to full on audio, which one have you experienced? What's your experience like with both? Do you have more response with the videos than the audio, or are they just at par with each other?
So amazingly, if you check my Instagram, all right, so this is how I'll put it. I'll put it this way. There are some ideas that would come to mind. And right at that moment when you get these ideas, you'd have to decide what mode of communication best expresses this idea.
Okay.
I don't know if that has happened to you before. Sometimes you get an idea and feel like, if I should write this, it will be better than me actually talking about it on a podcast.
Okay, yeah. I can relate to that one.
Exactly. Yes. So sometimes you can also, because I'm always in the face, I can make videos. I can also feel like, I think this would be better as a video as compared to a podcast or to a write-up. Right?
Okay.
So it was one of the reasons why I started a newsletter. I started a newsletter because, one, I wanted to create a community within my audience, and I also realized that there's some ideas that would be better expressed in writing form than videos or podcasts, right? So once I get the idea, I make that decision, which form of communication best expresses this idea, right?
Great. That's really a good thinking process.
I'm telling you, right? So once I've decided that, it's always easy for me to be in the best shape to be able to express it, because I know the mode of expression that suits the mode of communication that suits that idea, right? So that's the first reason. That's the first reason.
Okay.
The second reason is I have different broads of audience. Some people come to my page because of my monologues, my acting.
Okay.
Some people come to my page because of something they call how-to series. So I started how-to series. Something like a short carousels of wisdom. I just get a message in carousel form.
Can you take that line again? You just get
I get like an idea,
okay,
and I express it in carousel forms. Right? So that's how-to series.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Right?
Okay.
So then there's how-to series, and then there's the newsletter, and then there's the podcast. So the podcast is really sensitive because there are some stories that only podcasts can effectively tell. I'm telling you. Okay, so this is how I think I learned this from said God. No, I learned this from Malcolm Gladwell. I don't know if you know Malcolm Gladwell. That's the
Yeah, I
author
do.
of,
Go on.
right? So he said something. He said, the thing about podcasting is, podcasting, when you podcast, you are directly speaking to the heart through
Your
the ears.
voice, yeah, from your voice to their
From
heart.
your voice to the, you don't just go directly to the heart, you go through the
No.
ears.
Yes.
From the ears to the heart, right? So you can get people to easily cry on a podcast than a video. Now, this is arguable. You can actually argue
Yeah, I
this.
was about to say that is debatable.
It is debatable, really, I won't lie. But I think that the thing about podcasting is it has that effect. You
Okay.
can really portray emotions through podcasting than you necessarily as compared to writing, right?
So,
So
coming from a writer and a public speaker as yourself and telling
yeah,
us that podcasting is a really effective way to tell a story better
yeah,
and to
yeah,
get to the hearts of people, I think
yeah,
it means a lot. And I would like you to put that into a better construct
okay,
because that particular topic or point of view is really debatable. As a
really,
story writer myself,
I
I
do
will
not
tell
even.
you whether it's a video from my perspective, I will say whether it's a video or audio, it all boils down to the story
The
and
story.
how it is told. So you can have a beautiful story, but how you tell it is what's most important. Is it
All
going to
right.
pass the passion? You can detect the passion. Is it tears? Is it sorrowful? Is it going to be fun and comfy
Yeah.
or romantic? It's just the power of your strength as a storyteller. So whether you put it as an audio or a video, it depends on the storytelling itself. Then another contribution from my perspective is after telling the good story, there is a best way to
Tell it
house that
better.
storytelling. It can be more of a dramatized video
Okay.
or a passing video or a calm, collected, just depending on the emotions you're trying to portray.
Okay.
But emphatically, you are telling us that podcasting is a better avenue to
Okay.
make people listen with their hearts. And I could actually relate to it because people listen and visualize with their mind. And it's
Exactly.
more intensive or reduced based on how
You tell the
effective
story,
or how
effective, the
balanced your
story.
emotions are for them
So,
or how they
yeah,
relate to your story. So I
yeah.
really want you to talk about that particular fact you just shared and really bring it down so we can all understand where you're coming from.
All right. So, at the time when I started podcasting, I had no idea that a lot of people would relate with it, right? At the time, so when I started my first episode, my second episode, and everybody's like, "Wow, this is amazing." Now, I would not take this for myself. I'm a good storyteller, right? So let's not just throw it in the air and say podcasting is going to do this and that when you have not ticked the box of storytelling, of good storytelling, of finding the right stories, the right stories to tell, and being in a mood where that story really affects and touches someone else's life, right? So I think there are many factors to it.
Yes,
Why I think that there are many factors to it. One of the factors why I said that boldly was because I have now grown an audience that really do love podcasting. There are some people that would just be like, Oba, you have dropped 5 videos, you have not dropped any podcasts.
They're waiting for
They're
that
waiting for that because there's
experience.
experience. That's the word. That's just the word.
That means you create your
There's
podcast
there's an
delivering an
experience,
experience, not just a story.
not just a story,
And that's
right?
unique to you.
Exactly. So
Amazing.
it's not just the idea that I'm going to spend. Sometimes people go to like, oh, there's this really high class restaurant. They spend close to 1 billion with one plate, and that their food, their food is too cost, it's too this, and then they ask you, what about the ambience of the environment of the restaurant? Are you aware that you're also paying for the ambience?
Uh-huh.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So I think that there's a lot that goes into podcasting, and when you are able to break that code, you can actually buy people into loving podcasting than every other form of communication. And this is not to mean that they would throw videos away or they would throw write-ups away. I'm just saying it would be the most preferred,
Okay,
right?
that's amazing. So continue on the journey of podcasting, right? What was your aha moment that made you rethink your approach when you had to start your podcast? What made you feel like, okay, I won't tell the stories I tell the way I tell it on the videos. I want to create an experience with the podcasting. What was that
When
experience?
someone when someone called me and said, "Do you know I shut all the doors? I lie down, and then when your podcast is out, I go to your page and I listen to your podcast. But first, I make sure that the whole room is shut and I lie down on the floor.
No
And in
way.
my mind, I'm like, oh, so this experience has gotten you to this point
To
where
that
you
platform,
literally,
really?
where you really shut the whole world just to be in that moment.
Oh
And
wow.
it it sort of increased my the tenacity, the intentionality, the interest. It increased, it just increased the level of how intentional I was about the stories I told. So sometimes I can have like 100 thoughts, but there's just a way I pick one story. I just sort of like feel like people would resonate with this. People would resonate with this, and I select that story. And it's not just
Can you
selecting the
take that
story.
line again? There's a way you pick your
People
story.
would resonate with this, and I select that story. Okay, so I said like there's a way I pick stories.
I guess your network is delayed.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me?
I really can't hear you. I think it's my network.
Yes.
Are we good?
Yeah, we're good now. So take what you were taking again. There's a way you
All right.
select your story
All
out of
right.
the
So
hundreds in your head.
out of the hundreds in my head, I select a story based on the fact that is this relatable?
Okay.
Would my audience see themselves in this story? Because most times the story is not even about me, right? So
About
I'm asking
someone else.
myself, yeah, it could be someone else. But whether it's me or someone else, can my audience place themselves in this shoe? Can they create a conversation in their mind around this? Can they talk to their friends around this? Can this story spread? Do you get? Can
Wow.
this story
Yeah.
spread? Can it spread beyond me? Right? If
So
this
you're
story
creating an experience beyond yourself for
beyond myself,
people.
I think that's just like
So
me.
when you sit down, because I have talked to different kind of podcasters, and they have all different sentiment about how their process is.
Yeah.
There are people who would just want to talk about what they're passionate about,
Yeah.
and there are people who just want to gist. You know, Nigerians, Africans
Yeah.
actually, we like the
Africans.
gist game. We love our gist. Call it
Yeah.
gossip. We don't care, but we love it.
Yeah.
There are some people who just like podcasting about all that. And
Yeah.
there are those people who are using podcasting as a medium to channel their radio vibe. Like, I can be a better OAP when I get the
OAP.
chance. But there are people who are using podcasting as a medium to do voice acting, to tell a
Yeah.
story and have different people come to act it out. But yours is kind of unique because you tell stories that is random, but
Yeah.
very particular to living, and not just any kind of living, but a black African way of life,
Yeah.
especially with the undertone of religion and the Western civilization, the conflict of ideas and ideologies, and just
Yeah.
sheer experience of humanity.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why this is really creative and catchy, and why I really want to emphasize on that is the thought you use in presenting those stories to people. You don't just say it like a story, you create an experience.
Yeah.
And one thing I liked about it is someone had to shut everything out
I'm
just to
telling you,
listen, to be in
that
that
blew my mind because I
experience
was like,
with you. That's amazing. That is really amazing. It means you're selling an experience. But in all of this experience selling for you, what has been your biggest obstacle that you had to really fight to overcome in telling those stories? Do you get sucked into the stories sometimes so much that it gets into your mental space, or do you have challenges that has to do with how to create the experience, or just normal, financial challenges sometimes?
yeah.
What has
I,
been your biggest obstacle that you
I,
will
I,
tell us
I
about?
I think that the biggest obstacle sometimes is there are a lot of conversations we don't want to have as Africans.
That's
And
true.
the fact that we have raised up these mental barricades within our minds, it naturally would make you not tell some stories that you really want to talk about.
Yeah. Okay, his network is acting up again, but I'm really enjoying the conversation with Victor Oba, and I really hope you're enjoying it too. So whether you're right here on, thanks for your time, and thanks for sharing your time with us this beautiful evening. So right now we are at the point of trying to find out his biggest obstacle in creating an experience, in presenting it to his audience as a podcaster. So if you're an upcoming podcaster, or you've been in podcasting and you've not been getting the results you want, you can pick a tip or two from Victor Oba, who has actually broken down some of his processes and how he gets to um, um, bring up his experience and bring up his thinking process. And the first thing that actually caught my attention, I would like to reiterate, is the intentionality he uses in creating his podcast. So his might not be a guest, yours might be a guest induced podcast. That is, you bring a guest in and you guys talk, or it might just be you talking about anything you want. It can be your ranting page or your podcasting diary, whichever one you want to call it. But the first thing is be intentional with how you want to present it, and be particular with your intentions, because not all audience would really want that. Not all audience will be happy to get everything you're given. So you should know the audience you want to appeal to. That will help you with your intentionality, and also help you with the way you script your show. And that's all about that, according to Victor Oba. When he comes in again, I'm sure we'll have a lot more to catch up on. But once again, this is Port Breaks Africa, and it's brought to you by APVA. And I was talking about us the other time, which I was happy to share, and how I met a wonderful person on this platform. So if you're a podcaster, a voice artist, if you have any talent, content writing, a storyteller, even if you're a singer and you want to be part of us, you can just send us a DM and we would get right back to you. And you'll be part of us, part of our family. So I'm going to try to get Victor back again. I think his network has really been unstable. So I'm going to try to get him back and see if we could just give me a second here. Yep. Yeah, and let's see if he can see that, and hopefully we'll get him back on. So I've sent the invite already, and see what we have to do. So before he gets on, let's go back to talking about the Association of African Podcasters and Voice artist. This is what we all do. Like I said earlier, we stand for a lot of things. If you're a podcaster, voice artist, singer, writer, it doesn't matter what your talent is. There's a place for you right here on this platform on APVA, and you would not regret being part of us. And we have events that we do, like this one, Pod Breaks, where we bring up people who are smashing it in their field, or who are just coming up and have an interesting perspective to what they do. We bring them on here, we talk about it, and we share with their wisdom, no matter how small it is, because we are all learning. I just saw Victor try to join us again. So I want to try and see if I can re-invite him into joining the show. So thank you for bearing with us, and the network has been poor on the end of Victor. So let's see if he can actually join us, and we'll go on from there. So I'm going to actually wait on for like another 2-3 minutes and talk about this platform and how you can join us. And it's a simple thing, actually. Just send a DM to us and we'll reach out to you as soon as possible and give you the process and how to join us. And we're glad to have you join us. So remember, this is Pod Breaks Africa, and you're still on to APVA. And I'm Guinevere, by the way. You can call me Gwen. I'm the host for the Nigerian branch of this association, and I'm glad to be the host because we have a cute guest, and Network just didn't want us to shine. I don't know why. His name is Victor Oba. He's cute, and he has a very beautiful and unique way of presenting his podcast. And that podcast is just an extension of his public speaking. So, oh my God, Victor is unable to join us. I still think he is struggling with his network. But in any case, thank you all for joining in on the show. Mike, Kolawale, I don't know what your name is. Is this Massage Property Real Estate? Pen Kenny. Thank you guys. Opera D, thank you so much for joining us. And Bidemi, thank you so much for joining on the show. And last but not the least, Oba himself, Victor Oba, thank you so much. And though the network has actually been unkind to us, we will not rest. And we are grateful for having you guys join us on today's show. So I think I'm going to bring this because our guest is unable to join us, and I think he has issues with his network. He's still trying to join back in. Let's see. Okay. One last try before we close the curtain for today. One last try and see if he can actually join us. Okay, so there is something that's coming up on this platform, and it has to do with APVA Awards. So for all our African podcasters out there, just know that there's someone, an association, watching and waiting and listening in, and soon you'll be caught up if you make up on the list to get your awards. But if you want to be part of the association in whatever capacity you want to function in, whether as a content writer, as a podcaster, or a voice artist, whatever your talent is, there is a place and a space for you right here on this platform. And I'm glad to have you join us, just the same way I'm happy to be here. Okay, so this is how much, he's unable to join us again, struggling with his network. This is how much we can take for now, for today's show, till we come your way again another time with a much more handsome, beautiful guest. That's not to say Victor wasn't really cute. He's a really cute guy. So, till I come your way again with a beautiful guest or a handsome one at that, stay beautiful, guys, and stay handsome and keep the passion high and solid. So, I'm still your girl, Guinevere, and this is still Pod Breaks, and good night.